When it comes to books, books are something that I struggled a lot with as a kid. I never read very fast, nor was I really interested in books anyway. That is one of the main problems I had. Nothing interested me, nothing gave me the motivation to want to keep reading. A lot of the books I read was just the ones that the school told me to read. And so when it came time to pick a book for myself to read as an assigned reading, I couldn't find anything. In school, by the time I hit junior high, that was one of my assignments, was to simply pick up a book, whatever book you may choose, and read it. That was it. And it became difficult because I didn't know what to read. I didn't know what I was interested in. However, I am a big fan of cartoons. I'm a big fan of anime and things like that. So I started looking at things similar to that. Of course, manga was unacceptable, but looking through some things, I ended up finding this book series. This book series called Cirque du Freak. Cirque du Freak is I believe, 12-book series by Darren Shan, which is also the author of the book we're talking about today. I ended up not being able to read the first 2 books because they were loaned out at the time, but I started out with the 3rd book, which was Tunnels of Blood, and I read through the rest of that series within the next year. Darren Shan is an author that really got me into wanting to read, especially fiction writing. The way he gives storytelling in a way that is both appropriate for adults as well as engaging and appropriate for the young adult, definitely the junior high and even high school range, is an amazing feat for an author. Someone who has the writing capabilities of being able to hit all those marks so well is something that I really find enjoyable. It's something that even though I'm an adult, I can go back, reread them, and not just for nostalgia reasons, but enjoy the readings for what they are. So after a couple of years of Darren Shan not publishing anything, we've received 3 books from him all in the same day. These books are part of a new series that he is releasing, which is called Archibald Lox. The Archibald Lox series is going to be a really interesting one. We already know there's going to be more coming by him, Darren Shan himself. But let's dive into this series a little bit and what I think of it. So Archibald Lox, it starts out with 3 books taking up 1 volume. He talked about in interviews and on Twitter about how he wanted to make these in print. He wanted to have physical copies of these. However, due to COVID-19 and due to some other limiting factors, he wasn't able to, get publishers to get the book out. So he released these 3 books separately, digitally. And I just want to say before we continue on that the first book is free on anywhere you find digital books. I have an iPhone, so therefore I got it on the Apple Bookstore. I immediately downloaded it the day I found out about it, which was that day, and I got it. And I started reading through it. And the first book is one where you learn about our main character, Archie. Archie is just your typical youth kid. You don't really know much about him. You're kind of hopping in right after some tragic event happened. You don't get to find out too much. And then while he's on the bridge in London, you see this girl running. She's very terrified, and 2 big men are chasing her. And you think, oh, this is not good. Why is no one seeming to pay attention to this? And then all of a sudden she jumps into this this doorway or this window in the bridge that wasn't there before, and then all of a sudden it somewhat disappears. And then he tends to find a way to follow her, and then they find themselves in the Merge, and the Merge is where the rest of the series has taken place. The book series definitely, it kicks itself off really fast, and going from book 1 to 2 and then from 2 to 3, it just keeps the story going. Darren Shan highly recommends that you read each book right after the other. You can't just stop on the first one, which is free, which is great because book 2 is only $1.99 and book 3 is only $2.99 here in the US. The book series itself follows then the story of Archie now following this girl called Inez, if I pronounced that correctly. So they are now traveling together through the merge as they as Archie learns about this story that Inez is trying to follow through. She has a mission that she needs to complete. You learn a lot about this world of the merge. You learn a lot about the characters that are in it. You learn a lot about all of the dynamics of it, and I don't want to say too much to spoil it, but I just want to say it is full of cool action, a lot of great dialogue, as well as just an overall beautiful universe that Darren Shan has cooked up for us. One of the really cool things I also enjoy about Darren Shan is how active he is in communicating with others. I tweeted at him actually yesterday asking about what Volume 2 will look like, because Darren Shan has mentioned that he is hoping to release Volume 1, which is the first 3 books, as one physical copy. And so I asked him on Twitter, what's the plan for Volume 2? Will you release Volume 2 in separaties like you did in the first one, or will you just go ahead and release Volume 2 as one big book? To which he actually replied that he has a couple of ideas. He doesn't quite know which one he wants to do yet, especially when it comes to publishing books. But all the hope and power to him. I'm excited to read more from this Archibald Lox universe. The story, of course, covers a lot of who Archie is and the secret talent that he has and why he gets this tagline of Lox. I don't recall if it's fully described in the first book as to why he's called Lox, but eventually it does get to the reasoning, but I want to try and keep as many spoiler-free stuff in as we can. That way we can try and help you engage in the idea of wanting to read this series. One of the really cool things about this series, if you've never been someone who's read Darren Shan before, now's the time to do it. The first book is free. The second book is $1.99, third book is $2.99 here in the US. So if you're in different countries, definitely understand the price differences. But overall, it's a great book series, and it's an overall great book. It's a good volume. So take the time definitely to read through it. I'm not one for giving stars or point values in terms of rating, but when I go on Goodreads and I give it a rating, I gave all 3 of them 5 stars. That's very much deserving of that. They aren't going to be for everyone. The storytelling is very much that type where it's definitely catered more towards that young adult. The young adult genre in books are very wide spectrum. Young adult is everything from Darren Shan's books, where they tend for that junior high to high school range. And then you've got other authors where young adult is very much teetering the line of adult, but they write things in a certain way that make it appropriate, even though the content matter might not be. Darren Shan is definitely one of those authors that definitely it's just a lot of fun to read through, and so I appreciate that entirely. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys really got a chance to understand the book series more. If you have any questions, if you want to learn more, definitely enter the comments down below. I will try and see what I can do about answering comments. If you have any other things you would like me to talk about in terms of books, movies, TV shows, whatever it may be, I would love to start talking about them in future videos. So please comment down below what you would like to see next. Thank you guys very much for watching. Definitely go out there and pick up at least the first book and get reading. I'm sure Darren Shan would very much appreciate it, and I definitely would think that you won't regret the decision. I hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you guys next time.